Namaste, everyone. I'm just feeling inspired right now to to invite all of you to this simple, simple walk together. That let us do like this. That wherever you are right now, try to not move your body so much. But if your body moves, no problem. But in the body right now, you don't move. Try to not pay attention to anything else inside you right now, whether it is a thought or a feeling or anything. But if you pay attention to it, it's all right. But you don't move. Just give value to one thing. Just put your effort in this direction only, that you don't move inside this body. Only this much, nothing else. Doesn't matter thoughts are moving or not, feelings are moving or not, anything else moving inside the body or outside of the body. But you inside this body don't move. And you may feel little bit like a sort of a settling happening in you, like a silence happening in you. Let it happen. Still, you don't move. You might feel like going deeper inside you, like this, or going backward like this. Still, you don't move. You let it happen, but you don't move. It is so very possible to not move just for a few minutes. Just remain vigilant that you are not moving. Whenever you sense that you are moving, choose not to move. Movement will need effort. Not moving will need only a choice, a decision at your end, nothing else. Just remind yourself again and again that you have decided to not move just for a few minutes. If necessary, your body may move, but you don't move when your body moves. You let your body move, but you don't move. Your thoughts may move, feelings may move, but decide to not move, even when your thoughts or feelings move. It may feel a bit difficult, but it is possible, especially when your thoughts move or feelings move, because the feelings may come in the form that I am feeling like moving. I feel like moving right now. If you can remind yourself to not move, even if you are feeling like moving, even when you feel like moving, you can decide to not move actually. Then you will not have to work on this feeling. You will not have to work on anything inside you actually at all. You are free from everything now. You are right now free from everything. And now that you have a weight to it, now that you are not moving, I invite you to wonder, what is your seat? What is your cushion inside you, where you are sitting right now, inside this body only, inside this body where there is a thought and feeling and everything. Where, what is your place? What is your ground on which you are sitting right now inside you when you are not moving? So don't move. Still continue not moving, and just wonder with me right now that what is my ground on which I'm standing or sitting. It is about feeling. So wonder means feeling. Try to feel where exactly you are sitting right now inside you or standing right now inside you. What is that ground on which you are which is supporting you right now when you are not moving? And just one more gentle invitation. I invite you to wonder right now who I am, who is here, who I am. I can feel this body, so I cannot be this body. I can feel the thoughts, feelings, and everything else in this body, so I cannot be them also. I can feel some kind of ground on which I am sitting or standing right now, so I cannot be even that. Who I am is a wonder, not feeling, not thinking. Who I am. Wonder does not require a answer. Wonder does not expect a result of, of wonder. The joy of wonder is to wonder. So joyfully wondering right now, you wondering right now who I am, who is who is still, who is not moving. That's it. You can relax and if you feel, you can continue also in your space, in your wonder. It may be very interesting also for you to watch what happens now when you come out of this walk together into your normal state. What happens? From where you come into what? It may be interesting to notice also this. That when you open your eyes, where you come and from where you come here. When you allow yourself to move, it may be very wonderful to notice that do you really move? Are you really moving? Or are you watching the movement happening in you when you allow yourself to move? Just wonder. So that's it about it. And anybody want to talk to me now or after some time, you can talk. Gina, how are you feeling?
Namaste, Mila.
Namaste.
Very good. It's interesting to see when you say when you're coming out of yourself, and are you really coming out or not?
So what did you notice?
It felt like another layer of perception once opening the eyes appeared. Very multi-leveled and very familiar in a way, but nothing changed in me.
What is very important here, maybe not for you so much, but you still could be, and for many here who are here right now, is that you ensure that you, the seer, is not moving. Or are you moving? If you are moving, it means you are able to see that you are moving. How you will be able to perceive yourself moving? Are you moving in front of a mirror? No. And once you become clear that you, the seer, is not moving, then movements will not affect you from deep inside you to the outer layer of the normal, sense of living, being in this body mind. No, then it's not going to affect you. No, not as much as it would otherwise. No? So it's a key point here. It's a golden key here to ensure that when I'm seeing even the deepest space of my being and the stillness of my being, am I moving when I'm seeing the movement? Or even when I'm seeing the stillness, am I myself moving? So this is what can be achieved when you are opening your eyes and coming out, let's say. No? So let your awareness be a two-headed arrow like this. One is continuously sensing, checking, scanning inside that am I moving when I'm watching any movement inside me. No?
It's interesting that actually the monitoring is about what is moving and trying to get rid of it in order to be still, instead of monitoring oneself being still.
Yes. And if you can focus on yourself, that how exactly you are moving, you will start coming to your natural stillness. No? Mostly it is not possible in the beginning, so that's why I offered this invitation that let us come from the mind. We can come like this by not moving. We can come to a sort of a relatively still capacity of seeing, or a seat of seer from where we can see these things much easily, much more easily. No? Because if you say, anybody say anything to me and I just keep asking one thing, that are you moving? And when we are not able to see this, we will just feel annoyed. We will not really get much out of it. Things make sense up based on interest also. No? When we are interested in these things will make quickly sense that, aha, yes, it's true. Or I can check. When we are not interested, then things also don't make sense so much. So anyone, so good like this?
Beloved, just maybe one more point into this. What is called waking up or realizing oneself, isn't it the seeing that I did not move from the beginning?
You can say in a way. There can be many ways to express this. What is waking up? No, this can be one way. No, to say that to discover the self that you are, which did not move since the beginning. No, you are saying like this. Yes. And let me understand well that, so what, which means that whatever has happened in this life since the childhood till now has not happened to me, or has not happened because of me, because it has not happened because of my effort. It is more happening by the flow of life. I did not do anything, because if you did not move, you did not do anything also. I hope this is what you mean.
Yes, beloved. Like maybe it's one more step beyond moving and unmoving.
Yes. So if you are saying that recognition that, hey, I did not move actually since the beginning, so it's a good beginning. But I would say settling into it is going to result into waking up actually to who you are. No, because waking up also should include, I would say, settlement into your self also. No? So that's why recognition and settlement, maybe we can say like this. Both are part of this process of waking up, but uh, one has to kind of finish also in a way by settling also. No?
So until I say, oh, it was my great idea to do such and such, it means there is or no settlement or no recognition.
Yes, actually, waking up is waking up from the sense of doership. No, waking up is waking up from the doership, meaning I am doing this or I have done this. You know, so this is truly waking up. No? And when you are awake, then you can see obviously that I did not do it. No, I was I was more present. I was seeing less maybe, but now I'm seeing more. But all along I was just present, not that I was doing anything about anything. No. So yes.
And the last thing, beloved, um, being present in itself, it seems to be a very powerful way of making things happen. It sounds strange, but um, in a way, I don't know how it works, but that's how it feels.
You're very right actually. And also you are very right when you say that I don't know how, how it works. You're also right about it. Like it's difficult to explain actually that what is the power of being present. Like why one should try to be present more. Like from an outer perspective, if you want to get more out of your life, of the person that you think you are, be more present. No? If you want to know yourself beyond the person that you think you are, be more present where you are. If you want to know yourself fully and wake up fully to who you are, who has never moved, be more present also. No? This being present is actually the most natural way of the being, where things are allowed to happen as needed, no, for the body, for the mind, and this is the way to kind of gel very well or flow very well with the flow of life. And while most of your energy is available for you to wonder about who you are and what you are and from where you are living this life in this body, no? Where you are located, what is your position, everything, what is your nature. No? So yes, being present is the most powerful thing I have come to know so far. No? If somebody want to do anything good to their life. No? And we just don't notice this, Gina. Even in the movies we see that life forces us to be present sometimes. You know, that you are in the movie, the guy is or somebody is stuck somewhere and there is no door and there is some water coming from the down and growing like this, and you are going to die, like this. And then somehow something comes in their mind, and what happens is that they become more present than before, because everything else which is occupying their mind capacity or capacity of thinking has been rejected by them, that this is not the time to think that whether should I have a platinum card or some other card, and this is not the time to think what kind of vacuum cleaner I should buy, and laptop and a car and anything like this. You know what I mean? So they are forced by life to be present. No? That's what is being present also, in a simple way you can say, no? But forcefully. And somebody can be present by choice, by understanding, by maturity. No? That it doesn't really make sense to keep thinking about everything all the time. No? Let me think when I think about it, and let me not also not think when I don't need to think about it. No? So very good, very good. Thank you, beloved. Actually, just to complete this talk, that the opposite of being present is being in the mind, meaning flowing through the impulses of the mind, like this, no? Where we experience what mind will produce, where we will see what mind will enable us to see, allow us to see also. We will even listen what our mind will allow us to listen, even even right now what I'm speaking, even about this, even about this what I'm saying. When we are in the mind, then we will listen only as much as our mind will allow us to listen. This what I'm saying even. But that's how things are. So good, good. Anybody else can talk to me if you want to. Jonas, you want to talk, or I should read this, and I can read this also, no? And reply to you. But if you want, you can talk also. Okay. You are saying, hello, Raji. When I am able to see movement, I still have the belief that this observing is still happening by the body, mind, organism. How can I know or experience timelessness from the view of an entity, body, mind, which himself is perishable? Isn't it the body, mind who made all this experiencing? When the body is gone, there will be no more perceiving. I don't think that what you are saying is right, but I would not like to impose my seeing on you. I would rather like to help you see more, maybe, no? When I am able to see movement, I still have the belief that this observing is still happening by the body, mind, organism, and this. What you are believing might be true, but maybe but you did not notice one thing. You did not notice a deeper seeing which is present in your report. That I believe. How do you know that you believe? Because you are able to see yourself believing. So this seeing you did not notice. There is a deeper seeing present in you. It's not that deeper seeing has to be created inside us. It has to be recognized inside us. So by what you are calling body, mind, organism, I would like to say like this, that there is a consciousness of body, mind, organism, let's say, or there is a consciousness which you may call yourself when you are in this body, attached to this body, mind, organism, and this consciousness, this you, can notice a deeper seeing present inside you. No? And when you do that, when you means like you must try this. When you do that, a shift takes place. Shift not of the body, mind, consciousness, but a shift of you takes place. Your position changes, if not immediately, slowly. You find yourself to be that seer which can see that there is a belief that the observation is happening through the body mind. No? So this I would like to say to you, Jonas. So it's about opening up of the deeper seeing by noticing that it is already present. You cannot you cannot really be anything other than yourself. But what you are, who you are, this is the process that we are doing here. No? That there is a blind spot here, Jonas, that you are reporting about these things, but you are not noticing that how you are able to see this. You know, it seems that you are cooperating with this belief that the observing is still happening by the body and mind organism. Why to cooperate? Why to not be neutral about it? That I don't know, but there seems to be like a belief inside me that it is being seen through the body mind mechanism. No? What do you say?
sorry, my English is not so. I try to do my best.
Okay.
And I always wonder about this point when the body will be gone, there will be no perceiving anymore, and this contradiction to that feeling of timelessness and spaciousness. How can I make a difference between that deeper knowing you try to tell me about and my identification with the body mind?
Yes, yes. See, I told you already the way, no?
Mm. Mm.
As long as you feel that I am this organism of body mind, then you will not be able to perceive anything when this body dies. So it is true. Meaning you will die with the body actually. But while you live as the consciousness, as the conscious seer actually, in this body mind, you can know more about you. You can know more truth about yourself, which is already true. It is like always true. It's not like through some process it will become truer than before. Like there is a deeper seer present inside you, let's say. If you recognize that, you will become that seer. And then you will not stop perceiving when the body mind stops perceiving. That's what it means. And it will become very clear to you, most probably very soon actually. Not that you have to wait till the end of life. You will become confident about it because uh, it will show you its own evidence in the day-to-day life. You know? So this is the way, no? Find out yourself, meaning know it yourself. There is no other way. Nobody can believe that I am not the body mind. Why one need to? Why you need to believe that I am not the body mind? Because you believe that you are body mind. If somebody does not believe that I am the body mind, they don't need to believe that I am not also. Why we have to believe anything at all? Why don't we see everything as it is? But this seeing is an effortful thing, meaning sincerity is required for it. Interest is required inwardly also. So as what you are talking right now, as body mind or as something else right now? That will make a lot of a difference here in our communication.
I always feeling me sometimes not able to discern from which place I'm talking.
So that's okay, but right now?
I think right now it's the body mind.
So you are speaking as body mind right now, no?
Yes, yes.
So all of your questions are of body mind?
I don't know.
Be sure. Because if you want to be sure about things, you have to start being sure right now. Reject what you don't know. Reject what you are not certain about. Hold on to what you are certain about only, no? Because that's how mind functions, living in the uncertainty about things and working from them on everything else, the perspective, the view, or working on them, the spiritual growth. No? Why don't we come to something concrete in this moment? Just hold on to what you are certain about. Only if you want to. That's the way to be out of this uncertainty that sometime I'm like this or sometime I'm like that.
There is not a single feeling of certainty.
And are you certain about this, what you are saying to me right now?
No.
I don't think it is possible, really. It is maybe your willingness is not so much there right now. Otherwise, look deeply and declare that I'm certain that I'm not certain about anything right now. Like I'm like it is rock solid clarity I have right now that I'm not certain about anything, but effectively still you have a certainty, no? Do you see my point?
Yes, yes, yes.
Only in
Yeah.
this moment and only for this moment. After this, what you do, I'm not going to catch you that, hey, you said to me like this. Only for this moment. I don't think and nobody that you cannot do it. Everybody can do this, just if you are interested.
I'm interested by it, but it feels disturbed. I feel disturbed inside myself and not have the clarity of seeing this point.
Why you want to see this point of disturbance? Like, why don't you follow what I'm saying right now? No? So
Because perhaps I want to have certainty
about the in the body mind level. So you want to have certainty
Yes.
at the body mind level.
Yeah. Yes.
For that
Probably.
I
Yes.
already told you. So that is the best answer I can give you. In the state when you have decided that I would like to be in the body mind state only. For that, what we walked together in the beginning is also very, very good thing. I can understand there is a sense of discomfort inside us. And also, maybe you do not notice that not only there is a sense of discomfort inside you, which is calling you, like whatever you call it, uncertainty or anything, but also there is a belief inside that I can solve it in my way. And
Yeah, that's true. Yes.
that belief has to be experimented or exercised up to the point where either you succeed or you do not. So a complete success will turn into awakening in this direction, no? Or a complete failure will open you to listen, no? And be guided, no, in the moment. So put your effort. I wish you all the best for this. There is nothing wrong in that. Everything is fine. Then what I said in the beginning can help you, and this walk together, this guiding which happened in the beginning will help you a lot.
Let's try.
Yeah. Meaning let's try, meaning you will try later on, no?
No, now.
Now I cannot talk to you until you speak from some certainty. And regardless of how uncomfortable you are or anything like this, you have to put aside all of these things. Talk to me only if you speak to me through some certainty. I cannot help you really otherwise.
Okay. Then I keep quiet. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Then you have to try yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Raji.
Yeah. Thank you, beloved. During the satsang also, something may change in you today only, and then you can raise your hand again, and then we can talk. No? So there's no problem. Nishant, you can talk.
Thank you. Raji, about this continuing from the talk with you had with Zeno about the two-directional arrow you had mentioned.
Yes.
So I feel that it is becoming more like that for me. But it's not like I'm looking inward. I feel that I am resting in the being, and I'm able to see from there. Like the being has control over the mind rather than constantly being in the mind. Feels like that, yeah. But I feel there's a blind spot over there because you had mentioned about being resting in ourselves and seeing the flow of life, no? But still, I feel that kind of like that. I have to use the mind at the right time. Like I have to use the mind at the right time.
So this is okay, no? I don't think there is any. Do you have any problem or confusion?
Just that it feels that ideally I should just rest in my being, and if a ball comes at me, the bat will kind of work by itself. But I feel now that I have to take the bat and, do the defense or do the batting,
So this is a good chance for you to to notice while you remain in your being, one head of the arrow, that watch. Not everything, particularly when you are free in a way to not be so correct in your responses to life. No, that time particularly when you are in your private space of your own self or in your house or anything like this. No, that time you can try to notice that what happens. No, that how you respond when you do. You still have to respond back this service of life. No? When life throws a ball at you, how exactly sorry, how exactly you respond. It will reveal a deeper truth in you. So rather than trying that or hoping that life should bring me in a state where responses start coming by themselves, and I don't move and I just remain in my being. This work has to be done. This work is not to create anything, but to open your eyes to see what is happening. And you will actually find yourself again broken into two parts in a way. Without being divided, you will find yourself further broken into two parts. Like one part of yourself, what you call being, is kind of given away to the dynamic self. And you will find yourself even less of a form. No? Like this, you will discover the truth that which you want to achieve. The truth that you want to achieve is already true in you. It's just about being clear about who you are. So be clear about who you are when you respond to life requests or life events, no, like this. So there is a blind spot here. Nothing to be changed, only to be seen clearly. The pure being that you are does not move. The dynamic aspect of the pure being that you have or you are it has been designed to move. No? So there is no conflict. There could be only a conflict of understanding. I hope you have noticed now that even to say that I want to be that being which just stays by itself and does not move while the life activities continue. This is already a movement. This is already a movement. By whom? By the still being that you are? No, actually not. Even this desire is a movement, but by whom? This is where you can further separate your pure self, pure being from the dynamic self, no? So it's good like this.
Yes, Balaban. Just clarification here. You mentioned that there is a part of the being that caters to the dynamic part, something similar.
Yeah.
Can that be? As the reason why I ask is, I've experienced, and it was like a wonder to me that I was meeting with somebody, and something came up, and I didn't know the facts about it, but still I was able to answer it intuitively without knowing. So seems that there's a wisdom in the being. Is that the part that you mentioned, that when you are in the being you may see a separation, And we devote a part of that being to taking care of the activities of life.
Actually, really to know this, the full truth of what we are talking is a very different thing actually, you know. So like the full truth of what we are talking is very different than even what we are talking right now.
Then we can, it's okay, beloved. It's more of a curiosity, and I think it's okay. When it repeats itself, it's fine.
Actually, at some point, I still want to say this in general to everyone, no, that at some point you will become clear that it's just a correction in your seeing taking place. Nothing else happening. Nothing else happening. That's why what is happening here, what we do together is called waking up or opening your eyes or stabilizing your seeing also. Stabilizing your seeing is like you're seeing like this versus you are not moving your eyes when the object of perception is moving. You have decided to not move but continue seeing. Now whatever moves, but you are not moving, you know. This is what is establishing in the stillness of the seer. Then what we are talking is even that is not true. But it is relatively good and it's a good helping pointer. Like
In between, it struck me, beloved, that, you know, I still give so many different flavors of the black cat, and you so gracefully bring me back to the truth. So in between, I was laughing a little bit in between. Just, you know, so you struck.
Actually, what happens is that you are very sincere in that you are not using what mind produces in the to enhance it or to make it more real for you by discussing it and like this. You're just bringing it here and you're kind of vigilant. Let's say mind will keep bringing different ideas about things, no, including the self. No? Like I want to really say very loud and clear to all of you right now. Whatever you are thinking about the self is only a thinking about the self. Whatever you are thinking about yourself as a person also is a thinking only about the person. But there is a reality of the person, there is a reality of the self. Would anybody care to meet that truth beyond the thinking that one wakes up? So we can think about the person, we can think about the personal life, we can think about the spiritual life, and we can think about the self also, no? And we don't know the power of the thinking yet. You are that self which is not an image and which cannot be thought of. Which does not have a attribute whatsoever, which is the witness of all the attributes and all the activities of the mind. When I say mind here, it is a Zen statement that everything is mind and everything means everything. So there is only two things, a mind and you. Whatever can be perceived is mind, the perceiver is the self. Just a very simple division. And at some point, mind and the self will also not be found to be two. But let us not be in a hurry. Let us not create an image of it that, okay, mind and self are one. But who is saying this is a very important question to be asked. That mind and self are one, so why we have to do anything? Who is saying this right now? Mind or the self? So I think if you remember, I shared that for a seeker of truth who has decided, in whom it has become 100% clear that I now only want to see the truth, nothing else. For them, see, only see. And continue seeing until you are able to define anything in any way. As long as you can define, you are seeing it through the mind. When you cannot define, you are seeing it directly from yourself, from the self. Now, where is a place for understandings, knowledge? There is a place for seeing, which wakes you up to who you are, and which wakes you up to what everything else is. But there is not really a place for understandings or, holding on to anything. So this is what I wanted to remind you again also. Many times seeing does not work for some people, then definitely self-inquiry will strike very well. And it will shake them, it will shock them, like who I am, who want to know this, who want to do this, who want to change this. Meaning if they are interested, of course. That's a big question. So I think good for now.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, beloved. Now there are some message. Anna, you wrote, beloved Raji, so much has changed or has been exchanged since last week. I feel I would just like to be seen in my silence. Still afraid of that. Okay, yeah, how nice, no? Maybe you can say something if you want, or let me try to find you out. Yeah, here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening, for being open, for receiving the pointing immediately. Thank you, beloved.
Thank you.
It does not. Yeah. Say.
If there is anything else that you see as a blind spot or arrogance or any kind of ignorance, please point it out. Or
I feel there will always be a possibility like this, because we don't know actually how much is the mind or like this. So there will always be a possibility like this. So let us be vigilant. Let us be alert. Like this. It does not mean that there is something already present in you, but it means that there may be something which may arise in you and which may again delude you in some way. Like this. Sorry. Try to understand that in the human life, it is so rare to actually find yourself, let's say, going to an ice cream parlor, getting your most favorite ice cream for which you have been waiting, and just eating now and being consumed and forgetting the surrounding and everything. It rarely happens like this. So like you were waiting for this ice cream for 1 month, or let's say it was very expensive. Some ice creams are very expensive actually, or some parlors or restaurants are very expensive. So you saved money and everything. You went there, and you not only enjoying, because definitely you are enjoying, but your body is enjoying. Let's say your thoughts and your social identity is enjoying, and showing off is happening, and talking is happening. So just be vigilant that when now that life has brought you to the sweetness of your own self, the light and the truth of your own self, that you are not entertaining these impulses, you know, that that you talk about it, that you look, you know, discuss or anything, you know, then enjoy fully yourself.
It is not that I'm pulled to talk about it or to yeah, to go out. It's more that I'm afraid to be seen like this. Yeah.
This being afraid to be seen like this, is it affecting your practical life? I have just simple question like this.
A little bit by avoiding situations where I have to be with people and active. A little bit, yes.
So that is okay. Little bit in the moment you can take the decision that I involve or I don't, you know. Rest, this fear is going to be also consumed by this silence in you. You know? You don't really have to deal with anything when you have come to the self, to the silence of the self. This silence is going to deal with everything really. But it is true that you are waking up. Waking up means in the middle of two states. So there is a confusion possible. There is a sense of instability possible. It's normal to feel like this. But hold on to the right thing. But also this fear can be something like coming from the past also, you know, that I may lose this, you know. This could be the fear also. I invite you to lose everything actually right now so that you can gain yourself. Just for this moment, lose everything from inside so that you gain yourself only, nothing else. Fear or no fear, practical life involvement or no involvement. Be totally free right now. That's what I mean. Be absolutely free right now, like really free. That so that you don't have to wait for any process to be completed. Let that process continue, but you will not be bothered now. And don't try to remove anything also now. Because if those things are removed right now, then you will not maybe have fear right now, but you will have fear of fear that it will come back again. No, let us face everything right now. But you don't touch anything. You kind of let go of everything right now. So that you are naturally finding yourself in some way you don't know, in some form or formlessness you don't know. But you are. You don't know as what, but you exist. What do you feel? How is it now? Anything you want to say?
It's like what you said. It's what I'm doing is kind of protecting, you know. So what you said, just allow everything to come, even this fear. This is a bit new. I'm learning that.
Yes, yes. Actually, you might have noticed just now that what is happening is that because of the past experiences, let's say, like not only the body, mind has trauma. I feel even the soul has trauma. You know, trauma means like memory of bad experiences or bad state of the soul that it doesn't want to now let go of this nice state. But that's not the way to have it forever. The way is to recognize yourself fully, to let it be challenged actually by the fear, but without working on the fear, without acting on anything, but open. So what might happen has happened is that there could be sort of attachment to this nice state, and now trying to just live it like this. No, you can let it go. If you have to maintain your self state, it is not worth, and it is not the true state. You can be so relaxed and let the breathing happen, come in and out, and everything else, including with the breathing, everything comes. All the feelings will come, will go, thoughts will come, sensations will come in the body and will go. And yet somehow you are somehow joyful, and this joy is not changing now. Because this joy was somehow depending on a certain state, and now you have given up that also. Like, okay, let it go. I just want to be free, not free and happy or joyful. Now there is no way you can not be happy. Actually, there is no way you can not be joyful, even if with the fear. You know, you are joyfully fearful. You know, joyfully experiencing the fear. This freedom is your nature. So this is not a state, but that's your true state. Without a particular state, this is your true state. This is recognizing yourself, not really living in a certain state, but living yourself. I think very, very good. This is very good. It has reached you. Thank you, beloved. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I can see the and the baby also. One baby is also there, no? Yeah. I am sending a lot of love to this beautiful baby also, no? Okay, okay. Thank you, beloved. Thank you. Thank you. Hugan, you wrote, Dear Raji, thank you. In your pointing of not moving, a wonderful level is felt. There is truly no doing in movement. This awareness is so alive that it moves me. How wonderful. Nice, nice. Okay, then Rahul, you want to talk?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I am, I don't know, in a way, I have been pushed to come in front of you by a friend who is also present. There is a kind of situation, this is not awareness completely. There is a situation where I lost my father, which was not good, but it was okay. Every passing day, there's something which I have never even dreamt of. Like somebody, my own sister, my mother, they are all not only having corona, they are now admitted in serious after father. Somebody, one more uncle also is admitted, very close. We have a joint family. So suddenly what has happened is there is a kind of blast or an explosion of a split situation where there is anger, there is a grief, and doing Shraddh, not able to attend them. And I don't know, there is no, as such, I can say there is no personality. There is multiple of things, and I'm just holding myself somehow. I don't know if there is any solution to it. Even my whole practice and understanding, that is there, but the other things are so much happening so fast and so much that somehow I'm a little lost.
I can totally understand this, no? Because it is much easier to sit in our meditations on a meditation chair or something like this, no, and feel that I am the unmoving self. But it is a very different thing to actually, face a situation like this. I can very much understand what you are saying. But if you feel, I can share a little bit, and that may help, no? Or may not. So let's be open about it. What do you feel? Shall I share something?
Please, Guruji, please.
Okay. See, it is true that you were practicing so much in a very good manner, and it was fruitful for you. Like you have achieved some stability actually. Because if you had not achieved some stability in you, you would be actually already broken in such a way that you would be you would be attended by others actually, rather than attending them in whatever way needed right now. So definitely there is a stability in you. There is no doubt about it. It is just that you did not expect so easily. So like it is like you were not ready to kind of, I would say, discover your deeper stability. But life had different plans, I would say, like this. Life flow does not really consult us that when my father also passed away, many years back, that when my father will pass away and when how things will happen. Rather, life supports from inside. Actually, like right now, life is supporting you from inside so much because life is trying to shake your stability, which has been your position for a long time, maybe. And life want to give you a deeper position now. And I think everything is really at the right place, being done in a very right way. So even what you are doing or feeling or is all fine. I just don't see anything wrong anywhere really, except that you have a memory of your past stable position, and based on that, right now things are not stable, or you are not able to relate to them in that way. Maybe only that memory is the cause of struggle here. Try to be more present where you are. Like accept the invitation of life that okay, that's how it is. That life you want me to be here in this situation. Okay, I'm here now. I will do my best. Just this much. Not more. Not trying to be a awakened being or something. And a awakened being is the one who will be moved by life as my life want to move it. So that you can discover that aspect of you which does not move really. I feel it's a totally clearly it's the opportunity life has brought for you. Although these situations are not good, and even when you wrote me, in the email, I also felt sad, and I wrote you also, and I shared my love and light with your father also, and I right now also share all my light and love with you and everyone in the family. Feeling like this is natural. So I think it is better to stop fighting that why I'm feeling sad or anything. It's so natural. But in this natural feeling of sad or anything, there is something else also present in you. So naturally you can notice as you can allow yourself to be more present with the way things are while working on them on the practical level, no, but not trying to be more peaceful right now. You will discover there's a peace inside you already in the middle of this whole of this, so let yourself be disturbed and discover there is something which cannot be disturbed. Really, there is already something in you, which is just life is kind of trying to indicate towards that also in this way. I feel everything is fine. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you, beloved.
Thank you.
Thank you. And there is one thing also that is coming to me right now, Rahul, that I read one book, and which the name of the book is Anti-Fragility or something like this. I don't remember the name of the writer, but it says that in this life there are things which are fragile and there are things which are robust. And those things which are fragile are broken by the life flow, by the life changes very quickly. And those things which are robust actually are also fragile, but they will stand certain degree of changes of life. But at some point they will break also. But there is something beyond fragility or uh, what was robustness. There is something beyond fragility and robustness. That is the quality of the being, which is anti-fragile. The more it is shocked, the more it discovers that I cannot be broken. I cannot be deconstructed. Like this. You can turn off your video. No, you can continue like this. I just felt like sharing. That's fine. So just remember this.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Do you want to talk? Sure.
Namaskar ji.
Yeah.
Ji, first of all, I wanted to say thank you. And ji, there are so many things were happening. And from the very beginning, like from the testing, there's something is like shaking again and again. So I wanted to take the benefit of it, because you just talking about the anti-fragility, and before you were saying to Nishant that there is a mind and self. And whenever you were talking with everybody, it's just something was like here, something was happening. So instead of talking all those things, I just wanted to present myself.
You see, it is very acceptable that when you are in a situation like this, then you will feel probably the deepest discomfort in your being, almost like a knife in your belly or something, But it is also okay to work on things as needed. But if life wants you to feel this discomfort deep in your being, in your heart, you will continue feeling it. So better open your heart for it, open your being for it, that okay, it is going to be like this. It is okay to kind of not be in a hurry right now, to jump onto the peace that you used to feel. It is okay. It is okay, because you are going to stumble upon your own peace of the being, which is like discovering that I am water. Now, whatever way you fall onto the ground, form a wave or a bubble or a drop or anything, now you will only experience the waterness of yourself. No, so this is what is breaking out of the core of the ego. This is core of the ego where we feel discomfort, no? And from where we want to come back again and again in the ego state, where I was kind of doing so well. I was already feeling so peaceful on a daily basis, no? And then things went wrong, So have courage. I invite you to have this courage. It does not really mean that you who is troubled by this discomfort is real, like there to be troubled. There is just discomfort. There is no you. See this right now. Who has created this discomfort is being benefited by it. And there is no you, which can really do anything about it in any way. Neither you are being benefited by it, neither you will be benefited by it actually, nor you are being harmed by the presence of this actually. This discomfort in the being is deeper than the ego self actually. That's why the ego self cannot do anything about it. Ego self can only work on the things which are outer than this. No? Ego self is like a knot in the soul, in the being. No? All other outer knots of the energies can be worked upon by the bigger knot, deeper knot called I. But this discomfort is the experience of being untied. This knot of ego is being untied by God, by something higher than you. The I, is being dissolved now. No, allow. You cannot really do much here, but you can think a lot. You can worry a lot, or you may also change this attitude. Remember the mantra Guruji gave. No? Thank you, because you have been practicing this mantra anyway, naturally in your life even before we met Guruji, me and you both. No? So let us continue this mantra. Thank you. And Guruji, in Guruji's words, no, that I don't remember exact words, but they are so beautiful that you don't need to find a reason. Like, don't explain why you are thankful. No? Yes, thank you. This thank you is opposite of complaining. So either you will complain or you will say thank you. You choose what you want to do. So even if it looks most illogical for you to thank right now, like for what? But try. Thank you. You will see the change actually immediately. Immediately, I'm saying, not like after 11 thank you or 5 thank yous. After first thank you, you will see the change. A ease happening in you, a relax happening in you, in the middle of the discomfort and everything, like a new, fresh air coming from inside. No? So, what do you feel? Have we hit the right spot, or?
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you very much.
thank you, beloved. I don't mean that we can really practically say thank you for everything, or we need to. But I really wonder that what else we can do in this life when we start seeing opening our eyes. Because we are just finding ourselves in this life. We did not create this body, we did not create this mind, we did not create this life from which we suffer at first maybe, and then we rejoice in the same life. We did not create the self that we are discovering as ourself also. So what else you will do except thank you? You cannot have ownership now when you open your eyes. No? That's why this is the secret of my laughter. No? I laugh like this because of this. So very good. Thank you. Thank you, beloved. Trying to work on everything, and everything is fine really. Like everything has a place in this grand dream. But when things are not working as per your way and you're not able to fix them, then we can try this kind of simple things. No? As I told you, there are two type of people in this world. One who believe that there are two type of people in this world, the other who don't believe this. It's all about believing. You decide in which category you want to be. You want to be in both? This game, this question actually can kind of trouble somebody if they take it, they really listen and try to answer. Mostly people don't listen, no? So they think it's a joke. No, it's a question also. Just try to answer in which category you are. It's a question for mathematicians also, logical people. The biggest illusion in this life, which is actually deluding us more than anything else, is the sense of knowledge that I know. That is the root of so much of trouble that we experience, no? That I know. So very good. Anybody else can talk to me now? We are sailing through this satsang very nicely today. Seda, you wrote, beloved, it touched my heart when you say, old fear to lose this place, which I see that I cannot lose anymore. What I want to look is there is this disturbance in my being, which is pulsating for a while now, yet I see that I am untouched too. Yes. New space has opened. Yeah, that's the thing, no? If you don't work on the discomfort, this discomfort actually, or this disturbance, is actually like a call for you to discover the deeper space, which is untouched actually. So Seda, you are very right actually. New space has opened. But disturbance is still very much here, and it is about practical life. Feels like something has to be changed yet. I don't know how and what to do about it. May you please give me some guidance to how to approach it. My intention is not anymore in changing things, but use situations to look more deeply. How wonderful, no? You see, the practical life will look like this, that there is some change has to happen yet, and actually some change has to happen, but not in the practical life situations or people or anything, but in you actually. In you some change has to happen. That change is sort of a transformation that happens slowly by within in this body, mind, and the consciousness actually. What we call dynamic self, no? The body, mind, and consciousness, this kind of will go through some change. But if you remain more and more in your space or place where you are untouched, then these things will very quickly change actually, so it's not really so much that your practical life should be fixed very quickly. No, actually your practical life is practical life of the self only, no? Who else? And this self which is untouched right now will take care of this practical life also, really, if you stay here more. What actually is needed in a way, I like maybe in a more simplified way, that stay with your spaciousness. The more spaciousness you feel in your being, the better. No? And the more spaciousness you feel in your being, the more you will give space for everything to happen inside you. Meaning this body mind structure will go through changes, because things are very suppressed here for a long time, and they will, suppressed means compressed like this, no? And they will open up, and you may feel some things also. Stay put in your untouched space, no? And sort of a cleaning also takes place, and not only cleaning but also actually how to say, balance also comes, no? Balance, because it's not that others are disturbing me. Actually, others are also disturbing me mostly when I am disturbing them in some way. Maybe I don't know that, meaning I am prematurely talking, prematurely reacting or something. No, it is noticed by us. No, that if I could wait even just for 1 minute more and let that being speak enough, then the situation I find myself in would not happen. Many times like this, you will notice. So this balance will happen naturally if you live more in your space. That's what I can say. No? And when nothing works, then being present in the situation, practical life situation where you are, will help, because this is like a two-headed arrow. This being present is like a two-headed arrow. Without disconnecting from yourself, you are kind of bringing that pure light of your being into the practical life situation, body, mind state, like this. I feel this is all I wanted to say. I hope it will help you in some way. And now this time, Jonas. Jonas, you want to talk? Hello. The last time when it was Jones, I think, who talked, I thought it is you. No?
No, that was Johannes.
Johannes. Oh, okay. Sorry, I kind of cannot pronounce these words so well.
Yes. So I just wanted to, in speaking with you, confirm that I cannot move like that. That before I was just sitting and listening and was observing that though thoughts may move and the body may move, but that the place from where I'm seeing this movement is not moving. And now I just felt to speak with you, because like now in speaking with you, there's more movement in the place of the mind, so to speak, or in the place of feelings. There's like some sense of being excited or nervousness or something here, and I just wanted to kind of trigger that to just see and confirm that it doesn't change anything about my not moving. Yes, maybe you can shed some light on that.
Oh, yes. Actually, in the beginning, you might have already noticed that in the beginning, when we say that I want to confirm that I'm not moving, we don't really fully understand the meaning of this statement, that you are not moving or you do not move. This is messages for the being that you are, that at the deepest core of your being, let's say. It is this message, this instruction is for that deepest core actually. And if you try, you will succeed actually. And you will not succeed really in being still. but more you will succeed in discovering that you are already still, that you are actually not moving. So when the movement is happening, the excitement is happening, of talking, and body mind energy have been stirred up a little bit when you are talking to me. Actually, you are still not moving. Your movement is not really connected to body mind, meaning you're not dependent on the body mind to be still so that you can be still. So this is the illusion which has to be broken somehow. That's what is waking up, no? To the fact that actually I don't move. And it has to be tested also. Slowly it is tested in our life also. Now that, okay, I don't move now anymore. Then there is some very deep rooted or something very deep, which I may be attached to, it stirs up or moves, and I feel like, oh, I'm moving, and then it is just highlighted more. Like a simple thing I want to share with you. That is like a offering, my offering to my gurus also, no? That whatever moves in you will continue moving. Whatever doesn't has never moved. Where is bondage? Where is freedom? That which feels like bound is going to remain in the activity field, in the field of movement. So it cannot become free from activity, from the movement, because the sense that I am bound is a movement in consciousness. Movement cannot become free from movement. Try to see. And that which is free is already and always free. It doesn't need to become free. But awakening means to see this. But to see this, one has to be challenged. Not that one has to create anything. One has to be challenged. One has to be open that, okay, let me challenge my stillness. Not just in the satsang, but even in practical life slowly, Through the activity, through the life movement, if something moves in me, it means it's part of the movement of life. You are like a ocean who is looking out, who is looking out through a water bell. So the walls of the water bell and the waves of which are within the water bell, they are movements, your movement. But you are deep down the ocean, which is still. And you have sort of forgotten. So movement can continue within the water bell, and even the walls of the water bell can shake. The body is the walls of the water bell. Movements are layers, all this water and movement are the thoughts, feelings, and everything in the body. You are the witness, the still witness. So just to give up this idea completely to change anything and discover full truth, starting from this very second, actually. Meaning you give up the idea of changing anything, but let your body mind change things outside of the body mind or inside the body mind. Is totally fine. But you don't change anything. You see this truth, no? Seeing this truth will result in very quick detachment from everything, very quickly. Otherwise, we will keep working on the detachment so much. Waking up has a natural impact on our overall structure of body, mind, and the way we, flower, the way we flow and express ourselves. That's all I wanted to say, beloved.
Thank you.
Thank you. So you can correlate very much with what I'm saying, but I want to say still to all of you that these are not just words we are exchanging. Actually, the being here and being there is actually communicating right now and confirming like this. Is ready, is open to listen and to check right away, right now. If I can say in a more, through the gestures, because I find my words not to be sufficient, that the gesture could be that inside you, from inside you, you are feeling like this, like this. It's almost like a hand like this. Let go is like relaxing. And things merge. The drop merges in the ocean. You are the drop, you are the ocean. But until that this drop merges in the ocean, you will not know this. This is letting go. We are like this inside. Detect, notice, don't entertain. Inside, deep down, whenever you find anything like this, don't entertain it. It will merge back by itself. Life situations will highlight this more and more. You're very good. Thank you, beloved. Okay, anybody else can talk to me now? Mila, you wrote? Thank you. Love you so much. Thank you, Mila. Love you, beloved. Prashant, you want to talk? Prashant, you can talk.
Good afternoon, Rajiji.
Good afternoon.
And many pranams.
Thank you.
Many pranams to you.
Namaste to you.
And first of all, whenever I attend your satsangs, you make us laugh at least 3-4 times during the satsang, which is a very good thing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's very rare that you attend a satsang and you don't get to laugh, actually. Here, I just wanted to share something with you yesterday. I was listening to the satsang, and while listening, I felt like walking in my room, actually. Nowadays, we can't go out. So I was walking from one end of the room to another room and listening the satsang. After listening for 5-10 minutes, I suddenly realized that the body was moving, but I was not moving.
How wonderful.
Okay, but I was not moving. And I was suddenly, it was a kind of a surprise, pleasant surprise for me. And I continued to listen like that only. I finished the satsang. I was moving from one end of the room to another room, but I noticed that I was not moving. I was just like that, still silent there itself, listening to something, listening to satsang, but I was moving. So same thing when today I started this your satsang, it started with the same subject. And I was really delighted, and I was experiencing the same thing again, same thing. So just the need arises whether the same thing happens when I'm speaking to you. I just wanted to check out when I'm speaking to you, what happens that time? Is somebody speaking, or speaking is happening from some another level?
Yes.
I just wanted to check this. Yes.
Yeah, please check. It's a very good thing.
So I feel speaking is happening, but something is still there. Something is still there. So speaking is happening from some another level, it seems. I'm not sure from what level it is happening, but it is happening from some different level.
How wonderful.
So I just felt like sharing this thing with you.
Very good.
So nice. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, beloved. Very nice that it is noticed, like this. Satsang is like a facility, to facilitate you, to help you in some way, energetically, particularly, or how to say, like holistically in the life, the being of life kind of comes together here, no? In the form of you, in the form of me, no? And kind of facilitates itself.
Just one thing I just wanted to ask. This is something related to not to this thing, but related to medical thing basically. I have noticed that whenever I do this kind of intense meditation, or whenever the movements are less, no, I have noticed that the blood sugar level rises up. Blood sugar level goes up.
Level rises.
Blood sugar level increases. At the same time, BP also increases because I am undergoing some treatment also. So I noticed this thing. So is there any relationship between these two things? Like,
it could be like this, that when we kind of try to come back from our natural state, from this state of ego, then some energy movement may happen in the body more than usual, and the body may react to that energy movement in different ways. One could be like this also, like you can say, anyway, whatever is weaker inside us in the body, that might be impacted in a way, not always, but sometimes.
okay. And on my own, what I assume was that the body is resisting because the I or the identity is under threat, continuously under threat. So probably the body is reacting to that in a very different manner. I felt probably that's what I thought to myself.
Yes, it could be like this. It's like body really connects to one center, and that center is identity mostly in the beginning, and when that identity, that center is kind of shaken in some way, then body reacts in different ways like this. But it doesn't mean that you will fall sick or anything. It's not really like this, because there is a much higher power in you now, which takes care of the body actually, like the power which takes care of the body when you are in the deep sleep, no? What power takes care of you when you are in the deep sleep, or in the even in the dream state? What power takes care of you? That power is already present here in the waking state also. So mostly these are superficial reactions in the body. They don't really harm the body, really. They cannot, because higher power is always there. So very good. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Pankaj, you wrote, thank you, Rajiji. Not moving is a wonderful thing to notice. Thanks for this pointing. Thank you. It's nice, really. Okay, we are going to end very soon this meeting. In the last, if somebody want to talk to me, you can talk. Otherwise, we will end soon now. Mila, you can talk. Can you say again? Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yeah. I can hear you now.
Just don't want to let you go. And wanted to ask you maybe to share a song of your heart.
Okay, I will start with commenting on the tree there. It looks so beautiful. I don't know if everybody knows, but this song of the heart is more like a direct sharing coming from me, from my heart to your heart, and hardly anything can be understood really out of it, but everything can be lived out of it. It's a song, not really understanding or anything. No? Songs can be enjoyed, no, like this. No? Mila, for the true seer of life, or the witness of life, there is really no difference between you and the tree behind you. It is absolutely same. Absolutely one. One treatment is being given to both. But if in the body of Mila, there is some confusion, maybe there is some division, like tree is different and I am different, tree is inferior and I am superior, maybe, you know. Then that can be actually challenged in some way. That can be brought into the light of this moment, actually. Light of present, no? Light of presence also. No? So Mila, waking up is not only within the range of what we call spirituality. Actually, it has to cross that range also at some point, coming to the purity beyond the, you know, the learned spirituality. You know, we have to cross that even at some point. You know? Coming to the purity of the being, where you look at life as you used to look when you were a child. You know, before you learned any language. You know, you used to look around, seeing but not defining. You know? Listening but not understanding. No. So this song of the heart has been part of you actually since your childhood. Actually, it's just that I'm just sharing so that it kind of start rising in you again, no, like this. It is as if something has covered this natural thing in you. Allow yourself to come home. Allow yourself to come back to the place where you started, no? Where you entered into this world and sense of I and everything. Allow yourself to rest in your natural place of being. Where you have no knowledge. But then there is nothing lacking also here. There is just nothing lacking. That's why you will not search. It is, Mila, really as simple as this. That if you want to search, then enter into the mind. If you want to end the search, slip out of the mind. As long as you are in the mind, you will search. And you will not notice that you are actually searching or moving in a circular pattern. You are moving in a circle, but the circle is so big mostly, and we are not so present or aware when we are moving in the mind that we feel that I am journeying, that I am progressing. No? You might be progressing, but only in one direction, that you are becoming more and more aware that you are moving in a circle. All the spiritual progress in this sense, really in the direction of awakening, I'm saying only. In the context of awakening, all the spiritual growth is only this much, to notice that I'm moving in a circle. No? In the mind. No? Like, so that's the only real achievement, I would say, of the spiritual journey. No? And you have this power. I want to remind all of you, you are the being, no? I'm calling all of you being in my heart to remind you that you have this power. Any moment you want, you can take a break from everything, absolute break from everything. Meaning this break is from doing. You can take a break from doing, absolutely. And immediately you start feeling the purity of your being. Please understand, this purity of your being does not have any attributes, any qualities. So you cannot recognize that, okay, I'm feeling peaceful or I'm feeling joyful or anything. But you are so joyful here without feeling joyful even. Like it's kind of difficult to wipe the smile from your face. No, it will take a lot of effort, practice to be serious in the discussions like this, no? Where we discuss sometime. No, here. I feel in the coming years or decades, there will be some groups where there will be beings who are awake and they will just laugh out of their joy, and the other beings will join them. That's all, and they will just wake up, will become free from any sense of discomfort in the body, in this ego state and like this. It's same thing, no? It is up to you how many rounds you want to take of the mind, or when you want to drop out of it. You have power. Everybody has power right now also. Always you have, no? Right now also. If what I'm sharing with you right now, if you think that, but I don't know how to drop out of mind, this is mind's activity, not your activity. This thinking that how to get out of mind is activity of mind, not your activity. Please understand. This is not your language, my friend. You don't need to ask how. A being calls, a being answers. A heart speaks, a heart listens and wakes up. Mila, this is Song of the Heart actually, no? Where there is no gap for understanding anything. There is no gap between the listening and the speaking. Immediate translation into flowering and opening, no? So I just felt like regarding your request, no, like this. So that's all I could say. No? Say anything if you want to.
Such a beautiful song.
Yeah, this is my favorite one actually. when a generous being like you gives me space, no, then I sing my favorite song on a Sunday like this. No, Sunday is fine. I think teachers should also be given some space sometimes to speak the way they want to speak, no, not the way we want to listen. So thank you, beloved. Such a beautiful invitation. Thank you. Love you. Love you. Okay, that's good now. Let us end this meeting now. I'll just quickly read some messages have come and then I end. Seda, you wrote, thank you for responding me and for everything, beloved. Love you so much. Thank you, Seda. Love you too. Jogan, you wrote, thank you, beloved. Join us. Love you timelessly. Charan Spars, thank you, beloved. Lots of love to you too. Yogesh, you are writing. Thank you so much, beloved Raji. Love you. Thank you. Love you, beloved. Suresh, you are writing. Thank you, Raji. Thank you, beloved. Shrikant, you wrote Namaskaram. Rajiji, thank you. Namaste, beloved. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for today's meeting. It was beautiful time to be with all of you. I'm sure that this will result in a beautiful way somewhere inside you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, then I hope to see you again sometime. Thank you, beloved.